Okay, babe, buckle up because this tea is boiling and Gypsy Rose Blanchard is at the center of a scandal so messy, even reality TV producers are probably taking notes. You'd think after serving time, getting married, and stepping into the public eye with a squeaky clean rebrand, she'd be laying low and working on that redemption arc, right? Nope. Gypsy said, "Let me light up social media like it's my personal diary," and baby, she did not hold back. It all started with a few shady little breadcrumbs, nothing too wild at first. Just your usual vague subtweets and cryptic videos. But fans who've been following Gypsy's every move clocked immediately that she was taking digs at her ex-husband, Ryan Anderson. But instead of keeping it cute and classy, she decided to go full steam ahead and allegedly out his entire recovery journey to her millions of followers, without warning, without consent, and without any receipts to back it up. And girl, it didn't stop there. Because just when people were still processing the tea she spilled on Ryan, Gypsy turned her attention to someone completely unexpected, Ryan's brother, Patrick. Yes, Patrick, the one who was minding his business and not even in the spotlight. Suddenly, his name is being dragged into the drama like he asked for it. Now, let me paint this picture. Gypsy starts dropping not-so-subtle comments implying that both Ryan and Patrick were allegedly misusing their MAT meds, you know, the medication that helps recovering addicts stay sober. She hints that they're sharing pills, taking more than prescribed, and essentially playing fast and loose with a treatment plan that's literally life-saving for many. But instead of addressing it like a concerned person, Gypsy framed it like some public service announcement, casually tossing around these massive accusations like confetti. But here's where it gets spicy. Patrick catches wind of all this and decides he's not going to just sit back and sip his tea. Oh no. Baby. He enters the chat, or rather, the comment section, and drops one line that makes everyone do a double take. He lets Gypsy know that he's Ryan's brother and basically warns her that if she keeps his name in her mouth, they just might pull up on her. And while it wasn't worded like a threat, the energy behind it. Oh, it spoke volumes.
Ryan motherfucking Anderson, come to the front. I know you've been like not spilling all of the tea because you don't want to cause a little ripple and you don't want her to give away all your business, but she's doing it anyways. And not just your business, Patrick's business. At this point, if I was you, I would let it all out of the bag because she's gonna slowly let all your shit out of the bag anyways, so why not just get ahead of the game? A small part of me sympathizes because you do have a whole career that this girl has destroyed. And sure, for the people that are gonna be like, he destroyed it by dating a schmurderer. He did kind of. But it is beyond destroyed whenever she's coming out and saying shit like this. Let's be honest, the girl's capitalizing off of not only her mother, but you. And while jobs may give a shit about this kind of stuff, the general public doesn't. Like, at least you're clean and you're not still out here doing stuff. But come on, man, like how many more low blows, or shall I say stabs, are you gonna take from this girl at your expense? I just can't comprehend not coming out and saying something against her with everything she's had to say against you.
This right here was the plot twist nobody saw coming. Because while Gypsy's fanbase was eating up her story like it was gospel, Patrick's comment made people stop and question the whole narrative. Suddenly, it wasn't just poor Gypsy versus the world. It was, wait a minute, is she weaponizing her platform? Is she twisting recovery into a scandal for sympathy or clout? And just when you think she might take a beat, reflect, or clarify, Gypsy does the exact opposite. She charges into the comments like a woman on a mission, and what does she do? She repeats the same exact claims, louder, messier, and this time specifically aimed at Patrick. She flat out accuses him of abusing his medication, saying he and Ryan run out early and misuse their doses. No hesitation. No filters. Just smoke.
Crashing out once again, and this time over sobriety. She claims Ryan Anderson is not sober, as he claims. Now, Ryan has said he's been sober for 14 years. This all comes after a lot of people are alleging Ken isn't sober. We know that Ken has been a user of substances in the past, per Gypsy's own emails from prison. And recently, he was skiing on a live stream. GRB is claiming that Ryan Anderson and his brother Patrick, who are both on MAT therapy, are misusing and sharing their medications. We all know that Ryan is on medically assisted treatment because Gypsy Rose told the world. I hope this isn't true. I hope Ryan is truly sober. If he's not, I mean, is it as big as a deal as Ken? I don't think so. Ken is the one with the infant, and people are speculating GRB is doing what Ken is doing. They are the parents that seemingly have put their child in DANGER multiple times. Like Ken's reckless driving, going 83 in a 65 and not having their baby properly buckled in or buckled in at all. Gypsy Rose has no room speaking on this whatsoever. How? Your own garden.
At this point, it doesn't even feel like she's trying to raise awareness or call out bad behavior. It feels personal. Like the second Patrick defended his brother, Gypsy decided to clap back with something cutthroat. It stopped being about Ryan real quick. This was about power, payback, and making sure anyone who questioned her got hit with something ugly. And the wildest part? None of this is happening behind closed doors. It's all playing out online, in real time, with thousands of fans reacting, choosing sides, and throwing their own opinions into the ring. Every comment, every video, every little dig, it's like a digital soap opera with no commercial breaks. Gypsy Rose didn't just stir the pot, she flipped the whole damn table and made sure everyone watched. This isn't a misunderstanding. It's not an oops I said too much moment. This is a full-on strategic character takedown, wrapped in soft concern and sprinkled with just enough "I've been through it too" energy to make people hesitate before calling it what it really is: calculated humiliation. Now here's the part that hits different. Gypsy knows how addiction works. She's claimed that life. Said she's lived it. She's told the world she's been in those dark corners, fighting demons, crawling her way back to stability. She's built her new image on redemption and survival. But the second someone challenges her version of the truth, suddenly all that empathy, all that shared understanding, gone, thrown out like trash. She didn't come with compassion. She didn't say, "I hope they're okay," or "recovery is hard." No, babe. She came with receipts she should have burned and a smug grin like she was about to drop the hottest exposé of the year. And let's be real, this wasn't even new tea. This wasn't a revelation. This was recycled, personal dirt that she sat on like it was a secret weapon. She waited, patiently, watching. And the minute Patrick had the nerve to speak up, to say, "Hey, something's off here," she slammed that button like she was launching a missile. She didn't just throw shade. She turned recovery into a punchline. Imagine that for a second. Someone trying to rebuild their life, someone doing what they can to stay afloat, following a treatment plan that's been saving lives, and then out of nowhere, boom, a viral post claiming they're not really clean, that it's all fake. All because they spoke up. And here's what makes it worse: Gypsy didn't just casually mention MAT, medication-assisted treatment, she twisted it into a scandal. As if taking prescribed medication under medical supervision is something dirty. She didn't say it with curiosity. She said it like it was a confession they never made. Like it made them lesser. But it's the timing, babe. The timing says everything. She didn't bring this up when they split. She didn't bring it up in interviews, in lives, or during the peak of their drama. No, she waited until Patrick, who hadn't even been part of the conversation before, stepped in to defend his brother. And that's when she struck. Right when he disrupted the calm, right when he poked a hole in her perfect public image. She didn't clarify, she retaliated. And she made it viciously personal. This wasn't a disagreement. This was precision warfare with a cute Instagram filter. Because when someone's go-to move is to pull your medical history into a fight, that's not petty. That's predatory. That's someone showing you exactly what lengths they'll go to just to stay the hero in their own story. Gypsy didn't just accuse them of using. She rewrote the definition of recovery in real time to exclude them, to erase their effort. To say, "You're not actually sober unless you're doing it the way I approve of." As if there's one pure way to heal. As if recovery is a test you can fail just by doing it differently. And let's not forget, Ryan never made his recovery public. Gypsy did. She chose to post it. She chose to spell it out for millions of strangers. And when those strangers didn't rally behind her fast enough, she doubled down and pulled Patrick into the blast zone. Because in her world, sympathy isn't something you earn, it's something you manufacture by setting fires and walking away while everything burns behind you. And babe, some people are still trying to call this internet drama. Like she just spilled some tea over brunch. But calling it drama makes it sound harmless. This isn't harmless. This isn't gossip. This is exposing people's trauma for likes. This is throwing a grenade and calling it awareness. This is revenge dressed in recovery speak. She's not punching up, she's coming for people who are already down, already crawling their way out of something heavy, something life-threatening. And that makes it something else entirely. Ryan? He's been silent through all of this. Not clapping back, not defending himself, not trying to snatch the spotlight. Maybe he's protecting his peace. Maybe he just doesn't want to hand Gypsy more ammo, but while he stayed quiet, she took full advantage. She stood in that silence and made it her stage. And babe, she performed. Played the misunderstood girl, the survivor, the one with the wounds and the wisdom, and oh, Ryan? He was recast as the broken one. The unstable one. The villain. Like a plot twist in a movie she wrote and directed herself. And poor Patrick. He wasn't even in the scene. He wasn't posting. He wasn't provoking. He was just a brother doing what brothers do, protecting family. But that was enough. That tiny bit of pushback? That flicker of defense? That's all it took for Gypsy to aim the spotlight at him. She didn't just say they hurt her. She went after their recovery, the core of their healing. She attacked the one thing they were trying to protect, rebuild, survive through. And she knew exactly what she was doing. There's no way to dress this up as accidental. That's not a trauma response. That's vengeance in high def. She talks the talk when it suits her, uses words like addiction, triggers, sobriety, like they're part of her influencer toolkit. She knows the lingo. She's worn the label. But when it's time to actually extend that same grace to someone else in recovery, she swaps empathy for mockery. She doesn't just step away from compassion, she stomps on it, then turns around and sells it as content. She hides behind therapy speak while reinforcing the same toxic stigma that silences people in real pain. That makes them feel like they're not sober enough. Like they're failing because their journey doesn't fit someone else's rules. Babe, that kind of messaging? It isolates. It shames. It's the reason people relapse in silence instead of asking for help. And all of this, every detail, every bitter post, every weaponized accusation, because Gypsy wanted to win the breakup, not survive it. Win it. This wasn't about safety. This wasn't about truth. It was about being the last one talking. She didn't just drag Ryan. She waited until she'd squeezed out every bit of sympathy from that story, then turned and came for his brother too. And for what? Because she ran out of attention? Because the comment section wasn't clapping loud enough? Because Patrick wouldn't play along? And then came the plot twist Gypsy didn't plan for. Patrick didn't stay quiet. He didn't go live. He didn't scream or rant or write an open letter. No. He did something stronger. He said no. Loudly. Clearly. And with presence. He updated his profile pic. He posted to his stories. He showed up and let her know, I see you. I see what you're doing. And I'm not backing down. That wasn't petty. That was powerful. He didn't have to yell to be heard. He didn't need theatrics. His strength was in his stillness. His refusal to be erased. And in doing that, he disrupted the entire narrative Gypsy had been carefully, quietly controlling from day one. Because up until that moment, it had been all her. Her voice. Her tears. Her edits. Her captions. And people were buying it. They believed the heartbreak. They believed the trauma. They believed she was the only one telling the truth. Ryan got side-eyed. Patrick got whispers behind his name. And her audience? They filled in the blanks with whatever Gypsy left unsaid. But the moment Patrick stepped in and said, enough, everything shifted. Her version started cracking. People weren't just listening anymore. They were asking questions. The kind Gypsy didn't want asked. The kind that unraveled the curtain behind the performance. Why now? Why still talk about Ryan if you've moved on? Why expose Patrick when he wasn't part of it to begin with? What's the real reason behind all these posts? Why keep digging up someone else's pain unless you're trying to control how the world sees them? And suddenly, the answer didn't feel empowering anymore. It felt like control. She's always been the one behind the scenes pulling the strings. Even when the stage changed, from prison walls to social media feeds, Gypsy never stopped directing the show. She decided who played the villain, who got sympathy, and what version of her life the world would be allowed to see. And for a while, it worked. People clapped. They cried. They rooted for her comeback. But the moment Patrick stepped out of line and didn't follow the script, it all started to crumble. He didn't start drama. He didn't rant or spiral. He simply stepped back, and that was enough to throw everything off. For someone who thrives on controlling every beat of the story, that silence? It was louder than anything he could have said. Suddenly, Gypsy wasn't in charge of the plot anymore. The character she cast as a supportive husband refused to read his lines. And now, the performance is falling apart. This isn't the story of a girl finding her voice anymore. It's become something darker. She's not speaking to heal, she's speaking to hurt. She dropped private details about Ryan like they were clickbait. She dragged Patrick into mess he never signed up for. And the saddest part? She wrapped it all in self-help slogans and self-love captions, as if revenge looks better when it's dipped in pastel colors and hashtags. But that shiny image, the sweet girl who's just trying to figure it all out, is starting to fade. Because behind the soft lighting and emotional quotes is someone who's using pain like a weapon. She isn't misstepping through recovery, she's stomping on people on the way up. She doesn't want peace, she wants attention. And when the narrative doesn't fit her agenda, she rewrites it. She plays innocent while setting the stage on fire. Meanwhile, Ryan stayed silent. Patrick said almost nothing. And somehow, their quiet strength made the truth ring even louder. They didn't need to scream to be heard. They didn't fight dirty. They just stepped away from the spotlight, and that's when the lights started flickering. Because this isn't just about a breakup anymore. It's not about messy emotions or private pain spilling into public space. It's about how easily the internet hands over sympathy to whoever cries loudest. How quickly we forgive cruelty when it's wrapped in trauma. How we excuse manipulation when it comes with a tragic backstory. Patrick didn't fight. He just stopped playing along. And when he did, Gypsy's performance lost its magic. Now we're not watching a comeback, we're watching the curtain fall. And it's time we stop pretending it's anything else. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next chapter, because babe, something tells me this story is far from over. Stay tuned.